Well, the band is back together. Well, not all the position players officially, but we're back together, Eric and I, Locked On Astros. We got some things to talk about. I'm excited about Lance McCullers and what he's probably going to do this year. We're going to talk about him, Dubon, and so much more. Let's get started right now.
Jainel Diaz, this is Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros. We update you joins for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. You can find us on X at Eric Talkstros. You can find the show at Locked On Astros. And now it's verified because I thought I was verifying myself, but I was verifying the Locked On Astros podcast handle, but that's okay. Brett, where can they find you at?
They can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on X, Instagram, and TikTok at Stros411. That's Stros with a Z on Instagram and Facebook and on X, and back to the bullpen on X, on Instagram, on iHeartRadio and YouTube. We'll be having one of our first spring training episodes this Wednesday night, so check us out there. Look, man, I'm always positive, always Stros, Eric, and I'm positive that I'm excited that no matter what's happened and who's signed elsewhere and other people I've seen in other uniforms, I like the squad we have this year. You can't convince me otherwise.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go ahead, subscribe to us, make us first listen, Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. Go ahead and check us out. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new FanDuel customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Download the app or head to FanDuel.com to get started today. So, Brett, I know that a lot of people don't want us to discuss Bregman, but we do need to discuss what happened a little bit about the salary, because I keep on hearing about, Jim Crane should have paid for that he should have brought Bregman back. It wasn't a lot. It was a lot of money, FYI, for Alex Bregman. But Alex Bregman, he did send the Astros fans a little touching note. He did say some good things about the Astros and his time in Houston, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. And specifically, he addressed the whole Jose Altuve situation about how he wanted to come back. But some things that stood out is what McCullers has said, not only about something you and I have been talking about is he a starter, is he a reliever, but he's also made some changes to his delivery to make it a little bit more repeatable, to maybe take off some of the stress from the arm. Dubon is ready to step up and take over second base if Jose Altuve is going to the left field, and that's not been confirmed by the team. And this is Forrest Whitley's last chance to make an impression, because he's out of options. If he doesn't make the team out of spring training, I'm pretty sure he is, but he's going to have to be put on waivers. So these are just some of the topics we're going to discuss about. So McCullers, he said a lot of things. Marcus Stroman, he reported late to camp, and there's been a lot of he's basically, with all the additions the Yankees made, he's probably not going to be a starter. But when he was asked about that, would you be comfortable going to the bullpen? He said, I'm a starter. But I'm a starter. I'm a starter. I'm a starter. But when Lance McCullers was asked a similar thing, well, when you come back, are you open to going to the bullpen? He didn't kind of come out like that. He had a very intelligent response. It's something that I've been talking about all offseason. But, Brett, what did Lance McCullers say?
Yeah, Lance McCullers basically said, look, it's not an easy transition. It's almost like he listens to Locked On Astros, Eric. Maybe he's taking advice from Eric Huysman, because Eric Huysman, you said, where my whole philosophy on him becoming a relief pitcher was his durability and keeping him healthy. But he made the counter argument like you did. And it's kind of like when your dad's coaching you and your dad tells you how to do a certain thing in a certain position. But then when a coach or someone else tells you, you're like, you listen. So I think this is one of those things where, Eric, you told me, but I had to hear it from somebody else. And Lance McCullers basically said, look, I don't have any plans of becoming a relief pitcher. He said, that's almost disrespectful to relief pitchers because what they do is difficult. And a lot of people have made the argument like you have, like going out, 3 or 4 days in a row versus having a scheduled start day is not really what Lance needs. But what I've heard from Lance is this matured approach where he's realized where he's had missteps, where they've ramped up the velo too early in his rehab. And he did disclose in one of the interviews that I posted over the weekend that the UCL tear or whatever that they reported was actually a UCL separation from the bone, and that there were some things that they didn't disclose to us. And so the severity of his injuries, where I think I gave a lot of criticism, I didn't realize the severity of what was going on. His delivery has changed a little bit, but he has mentioned, Eric, that his velo is right now at this point where it was in 2021, his last full season. This is a guy that if they can get back healthy sooner rather than later can be a huge boost, because you have 5 right now. You don't want to go in with only 5 in the rotation. You want to have a 6th guy. You want to have a 7th and 8th guy. You want to have guys that can come in. And Lance McCullers, and here's the other advantage to him not pitching these last couple of years. He doesn't have a lot of tread off his tires. You know what I'm saying? So he may be more durable versus not. So that's what I see so far. Eric, with this going forward, with his mature approach, he's not going to be the Lance McCullers of 2017. He's going to be a smarter pitcher. He may actually be a more deadly weapon on the mound.
Well, something else that he added, he said, in my opinion, it's a harder job, like you said, but it's a harder way to stay healthy in the bullpen. For me, I'm interested in doing what I've always done. It's what I know. It's what I feel I can give this team the most success in. And he also said that he's altered his delivery a little bit. He said that it's a little bit more repeatable. He said he's a little bit more compact and arms are up on the release of his hands. He says it's easier to make adjustments on the fly, and it's a little bit more repeatable. So he said this is something that hit me a little bit. He said, this is the first time in a while that I'm with the guys in spring training actually throwing. And he said the coaches had tried to tell me, hey, slow down. You don't have to try to ramp up so much. You're still kind of you're still trying to get to a certain timetable. He's not like the other guys. And so he said that he feels like he's ready to face live hitters fairly soon, but it's all up to the team, and the team will decide when he faces live hitters. But I think that he really sees what's going on. And I think in the past he's upped the velocity, and that's kind of led to some setbacks. So I think that what he's going to do is just take the time, see what the team says and everything. But I don't think the bullpen is what's good for his arm. Right. Now, if he could be a starter in April, I don't think so. I think he's going to go down AAA and probably get some starts down there and see maybe by June. Or if I would like to see him late May, early June. And his exact quote was, "It's not like a fallback position," talking about the reliever role. I think it's doing a disservice to the guys who are in that role. It's not just something that you can just decide. You wake up one day and feel like you're a reliever. It's a very specific job. I think suggesting otherwise is a disservice to the guys in the bullpen and our pen and every pen around the league. For me, I'm interested in doing what I've always done. It's what I know. It's what I feel like I can give this team and success in the most success in. So look, can't argue with that. This guy's a pro's pro. And if anybody is going to be elated that he's back on the field, it's going to be Lance McCullers. And Eric, he did mention that his faith has played a big part, that it has been tough, that it has been a struggle, but he hasn't let it deter him from his ultimate goal. Yeah, and he's also offered some good thoughts about the Astros as a whole. He says, I think we still have a really great team. I think fans should be very happy for the first time, and we should be very excited for the future. So maybe coming out of shoot, we're maybe a little bit more step by step. Hey, let's get out. Let's get hot. Let's put ourselves in this situation to win. the West and then move to the playoffs versus showing up to camp and saying it's World Series or bust. So basically, he's saying that they need to do a better job of just not saying, "Oh, we have this goal," but just going out there and playing better baseball and get off to a better start, because maybe last year with the new manager, they had a lot of pressure. So, guys, we'll go and continue this conversation. Thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to us, and we'll see you in a second.
In sports, having the winning strategy is everything. It's how the best teams make it to the Super Bowl, the World Series, and the Olympics. The same goes for life. Having a strategy like life insurance from SelectQuote can protect your financial legacy and keep your family's future secured. SelectQuote makes it easy to find the perfect life insurance policy. As one of America's leading insurance brokers with nearly 40 years of experience, they've helped over 2 million customers find $700 billion in coverage since 1985. What sets SelectQuote apart is their personal touch. Unlike other brokers that offer a one-size-fits-all policy, their licensed agents tailor coverage to fit your unique needs. If you're in good health, you might even qualify for same-day coverage of up to $5 million. No medical exam required. And it's more affordable than you think. You can get up to $1 million in coverage for as little as $20 a month. Get the right life insurance for you for less at selectquote.com/locked on. Go to selectquote.com/locked on today to get started. That's selectquote.com/locked on. SelectQuote. They shop, you save.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen, whether it's on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to us. We're trying to get to 14,000 subscribers. So we're also going to be on your Roku device. So if you have a Roku device, you can go and watch our Locked On Astros, any Locked On Houston show on there as well. And I want to address this real quick, Brett. Estachio, sorry if I'm butchering your name, but Mr. Gonzalez here asked about Zach D. He said that he's the extra outfielder. I do believe that if Desenzo makes the team, it's going to be as a starting outfielder. He was in the outfield today. He was taking some fly balls. He was getting some work defensively. If he makes the team, it's not going to be as a fourth outfielder. I think that the Joe Espada's idea, and most manager, if you have a young player like Desenzo with all this promise, he's going to be in the starting lineup at least to begin the season. If he starts to struggle, then that's when you either send him down AAA or put him on the bench. But you don't have somebody like that on the bench to start.
But if Desenzo is starting, then that means Jose Altuve is not playing left field, because Desenzo will be out there with Chas McCormick and with Jake Myers. And I believe they would put Desenzo in left. I'm just saying, I think Desenzo is a fourth outfielder. I think Desenzo, because he can play infield and outfield, is a guy that is clearly going to be coming off your bench. Now, they may get a more healthy rotation this year with those guys and needing to get him in there. But, how they juggle that, I don't know. I think where we talk about how we need another outfielder and all that stuff, I think there's kind of a logjam, Eric, personnel-wise. Dubon is ready to step up to second base. Tony Perez Chica is working with the infielders. He worked a ton with Jeremy Pena today. He worked a ton with Dubon, today as well. And I think that he sees it as an opportunity. Dubon wants to play like everybody else. But Framber Valdez the other day in the locker room laughed at the idea of Altuve in left field. And he said, no, it's pretty much second or nothing for Jose. And so you've got some different opinions in the clubhouse for sure on whether or not he'll go out there. Now, another thing to talk about the second base, I guess mystery, is Joe Espada said there's 3 stages. He's not even going to start in the outfield. He's got to take enough practice reps before he gets to the field part. So, Eric, Dubon, someone mentioned in here, he could be a Gold Glove second baseman. Dubon's got a good glove. Dubon is a good infielder. I think the versatility of these players is going to be key to their success this year.
Well, it is a change of thinking if they're going to take Dubon out of that super utility spot and put him at second base. And a lot of people would be thinking, well, if you're going to have Dubon play every day, why don't you put him in outfield and then he's played outfield and then have Altuve play at second base. But I think that they're worried about Altuve's defensive skills at second base, and especially with two ground ball pitchers and Framber Valdez and Hunter Brown. But if you listen to Framber Valdez, he says, no, I want him out there. And so it's kind of weird to see the dynamics of this. And Dubon said, I haven't had discussions with anybody. If Jose goes to the left, I would love this opportunity. I was able to do it in 23, and I think I did a pretty good job in that situation. I want to play. I want to play anywhere. As long as I'm out there every day, I'm happy. And so I think that this would be a good situation for Dubon. If he gets to play every day, he's a little bit more jacked. Like I was like, yeah, I'm getting tired of people making fun of me for being so skinny. So he went out there and got some muscle. So, but he came out like, I don't want to say like John Singleton back in the day, but Jeremy Pena when he came last year, he's all He-Man and everything. But I think that maybe this will add a little bit more pop, but also help him just overall. But he's got the best bat to ball skills. I mean, I guess Jose Altuve does, but he's hard to strike out at times. He went through that streak of not striking out. But I think Dubon, if he could add a little bit more power, that would be great. But I'm not expecting a lot.
Yeah, I'm not either. Now, I'm going to put this up here because I would say these are the ones that really have no place to call home right now. And I don't know who Altuve is, but maybe that's Altuve. Maybe that is Scooby-Doo talking there. Altuve. Anyways, here we go. I can't get it to hold on. I got to save myself here. Typo king. But these are the people that I think Altuve is the most locked down. I still think he's going to be at second. I know there's a lot of talk about him going to left. I think they were really hoping Alex would sign here. And let me say this about Alex, because I didn't get to say anything earlier, Eric. Yes, Chris, you can actually probably get an Altuve jersey at the custom shop there. Thanks. Yeah. Hey, watch out. I might have to bring up some other names, but you know, one of the things that I think we have to look at here is the fact that I think Alex Bregman wanted to go to Boston all along. I know we offered him a lot of money. Detroit offered him a lot of money. And I said all along that was a great fit. I'm telling you right now, Eric, Bregman's going to have an MVP type year. If he hits 40 home runs and 50 or 60 plus doubles, he's an MVP candidate right on the top. So I think he's going to do that. And because he didn't come back, you've got all these guys. It's kind of this topsy-turvy situation. But do you know what I do trust? I trust the Astros. I trust Tony Perez-Chica. I trust Joe Espada. I trust the Astros player development department. And it's funny how when these things happen, where you lose big players, the Astros fan base acts like, what are we going to do? I don't know. Like, winning's over. I'm like, hold on, like, chill out. Like, they're professionals. Like, just because they don't have certain personnel on the field doesn't mean they won't be successful. I'm not saying they're a World Series favorite, but this team is in the playoffs. What do they do after they get to that point? The point is you get to the playoffs and you're healthy. I mean, all bets are off. Who had on their bingo card the Diamondbacks and the Rangers in 23? Who? Nobody. Not a soul. So if the Dodgers don't go out and win 117 and break the record and win a World Series, you know, everybody's got them locked, but they still have to win it.
Was that the same amount of people that actually watched the World Series that season? Not at all. Just kidding. I'm sure some people were in.
Shots fired.
Anyway, I'm just kidding about that. But I think that, it's going to be it's definitely interesting spring training. To kind of go back to the Altuve situation, it's kind of like a new teacher. Like you go to college to become a teacher, then you have to do student teaching. And then once you're done with student teaching, you do your first year of teaching, which is always a disaster. And then you're like, oh, okay, I get it from now. So those are 3 stages that Jose Altuve has to go through in order for him to see if he can actually do this in the regular season and everything. So we'll see. And the team has not committed to anything. They would like to just see if this is a possibility to offer some roster flexibility. If it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. And then you could just move on. So, guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day.
When the game tips off, the NBA action is just getting started. There's no better place to get in the action with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. With FanDuel, you can place live bets throughout the game. So even if you miss the opening tip-off or you want to be in a fourth quarter comeback, you can stay in the action. And if you're looking for a bigger payout, you can combine your live bets into a same-game parlay. I love using FanDuel's betting feature because it keeps every moment of the game exciting, whether I'm backing my team for a late rally comeback or picking a player to hit a clutch 3. I never feel like I've missed my chance. Plus, the app is easy to use, and when you win, you get paid instantly. Right now, new FanDuel customers can get $150 in bonus bets with your first $5 bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. That's FanDuel.com for your shot at $150 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA.
Hey guys, thank you for making us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. Go and check us out. And I think it's funny. We're talking about 4th outfielder, 5th outfielder. I don't think there's going to be a set outfield. This is probably going to be one of those years where you're going to have people rotating in and out. You're going to have second baseman go play left field. And it's going to be just kind of one of those weird seasons that it's going to be a fluctuating lineup until somebody sticks. And whether it's somebody down in AAA or somebody, I'm just not set. I believe in Chas. I don't believe in Jake Myers. I'm not a big Jake Myers fan. And I know the Astros front office keeps on saying we believe in Jake, but yes, he had a great year. He had a semi-good last year for Jake Myers.
Jake, I'm sorry, Eric. Eric is officially not on the Jake train. You are not Jake from Rake Farms. I've got a Jake from Rake Farms bobblehead up there that I'm gonna have to take a picture of and maybe interview later. But look, I get it. I understand it now. Chas did say, I think we're going to surprise some people. Mm-hmm. And with that quote, I think what the Astros have before them is an opportunity to prove people wrong. Because they say, oh, you lost Kyle Tucker. You lost Alex Bregman. Okay, yeah, big losses. But we also gained Christian Walker, Paredes. We also have a team that still has Jordan, who I think Jeremy Pena is going to hit better. Yainer Diaz is going to continue to improve. Altuve is going to do what he does. And if you get Chas to hit 15 to 20 home runs, that's great. Jake Myers, I'm not worried about the home runs from Jake. I just need Jake to get on base. I need Jake not to swing and his helmet fly off. I need Jake to be relevant at the plate. And so at the end of the day, you just need these guys to contribute, Eric. But I think that if Chas performs and you have whoever's in left field performs, Gamble, I think, is going to go out and perform. No one expects him to do anything. Some of these guys having no expectations, the blessing's probably in the curse there. And so you still have to play the games. The projections can be what they want. I think the new Fangraphs total for wins is the Astros have 84 wins at the end of the year. I snub my nose at that. I think they win at least 89 games this year, but I'm a forever optimist. But I understand your lack of enthusiasm when it comes to Jake. But you know what? That just means he's got something to prove, and Jake wants to remain in a major league uniform. And one of the things that I am reminded of daily when I watch a lot of clips from players from around the league, Eric, from different teams. And the really, really great ones talk about how they are there early, how they are grinding, and how they are trying to win that one game. They're not worried about the end of the season. And if the individual players can focus on what they do as individuals, the team will come together nicely and they will produce wins.
Yes. So I think that the outfield is going to be a weird situation, but the bullpen is also going to be a weird situation. You have some locks, but you're also looking for that third guy in the bullpen to kind of be the setup guy to the setup guy. Caleb Bort, Brian Keane likely are going to be guys that set up. You have some people like Rafael Montero, Miguel Castro, some other names like that. But Forrest Whitley is on basically, if he does not make the team out of spring training, he's going to be placed on waivers and any team can claim him. So the Astros have invested a lot of time, a lot of commitment. It takes a lot to get that extra minor league year like the Astros did last year because of all the injuries and all the suspensions that Forrest Whitley did. So they actually believe in him. So I think that what we're going to see is like Whitley said, I think optically it's easy to look at it as a super important year for me, but I'm kind of taking it like it's like all the camps. Every camp is important to me. Every throw that I make is important. Every move that I make is important. So I try not to rank importance of things. Just get through them. It is what it is. And at the end of the day, the stuff isn't up to me. I'm going to go out there, do my best, and ultimately the team will make a decision.
Yeah, and in a couple of discussions, I've actually talked with Forrest Whitley, off air, and just asked some questions here and there how he's feeling. And in this offseason, Eric, he feels extremely good, extremely optimistic about where he is. And to me, he's brimming with confidence right now. And he's literally taking it in stride. He's not one of the reporters in the interview that I posted talked to him about, it's been a long time. It's been 10 years. And it's like, wow, okay. Thanks, Captain Obvious, for telling me how long I've been here. And they did it with a couple guys. One part of the interview for Ben Gamble, I actually cut out. One guy was like, aren't you like almost 50? I'm like, good Lord, who are these guys they're letting in the clubhouse? Maybe they should give us credentials because we definitely wouldn't ask questions like that. Very rude. But Forrest Whitley knows what is in front of him. And you know what's cool? Forrest Whitley, Hunter Brown, and Spencer Arrighetti are all living together at spring training. They all got a house together. And Arrighetti, and the reason why I mention this is Arrighetti's mindset is last year he didn't say a word in the clubhouse. And this year he's talking more. One of the reporters, I believe it was Chris Gordy, said, I noticed you're talking a lot more this year. He said, oh yeah, I was low key last year. I didn't want to say anything. And I think with Hunter Brown and Spencer Arrighetti with Forrest Whitley, that's going to build a bond in there. I don't think there's any chance that he doesn't make it out of camp on this roster. I think Forrest Whitley is a lock for this bullpen. And I think Forrest Whitley is going to have solid success this year with the Houston Astros. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, Joe Spada said that he's worked out with him this offseason. He said he has this calmness, he has this relaxation, or he just seems a lot more relaxed than he has before. So I think everything's going to work out fine for him. And so I think it's just going to be a situation where he has to go out there, perform. The Astros want what's best for him. They know his stuff is there. It's just a matter of can he have the control and can he have the success? So I know a lot of people don't want to talk about this, but we do need to address the elephant in the room, and that is Alex Bregman. He did actually report to Red Sox camp. We do know the actual official deal. The deal is the present value is $89.9 million, basically. So basically, it's about $20 million per year, with $20 million deferred, basically. This year, there's a $5 million signing bonus with $15 million salary and $20 million deferred. So basically, $60 million of it is deferred. So take that what you will.
Yeah, it is what it is. He's got an opt-out after every year, which I think is interesting. And I think if the Red Sox do a solid job and maybe get to the first or second round of the playoffs, Alex probably stays around. Alex, to me, to go out and test the market after a year, unless he wins the MVP, would really kind of be foolish. Find your place in Boston. Become that legend in Boston. I don't know if you know this. The Red Sox drafted Alex before the Astros did. And I mean, that was something I wasn't really aware of. He was drafted out of high school. He turned it down and went to LSU. And I don't know if y'all know this. When he was drafted as a catcher out of high school, out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. So he didn't even start out as a shortstop. He played different positions. I even saw him play a game. I believe it was a left field or right field when I was there when we were living in Louisiana. And so, look, Alex Bregman's gone. I still feel like he looks a little awkward being there. Another odd video, Ryan Presley in a Cubs uniform throwing to Kyle Tucker, the Cub, in batting practice. I thought that was insane to watch. So, there's some oddities in this year for sure, but it will be interesting. Do the Cubs come to Houston this year?
I don't have the schedule in front of me, but I think they do. You can look up real quick, but I do want to kind of what Bregman said about the Astros. He said, I have so much respect for organization, top to bottom, all the players. And about Altuve, he says it's definitely tough. You build great relationships with people in this game. He's a friend of mine for life, and I loved every second of being able to suit up with him. And basically, he was asked, of course, about being booed ever since 2019 when the scandal came out. And now he's coming to a city where people are welcoming him with open arms. And he said, yeah, I know I got booed, but it's all good. He said with a chuckle. So,
yeah. So the Astros play the Cubs June 27th through the 29th. It's like the Phillies and then the Cubs. That's a pretty big 6-game homestand. Let's see after that. Yeah. And then they go on the road, but dude, that's a 6-game stretch. That's going to be a really fun series. And I believe the Red Sox come here in August. So maybe one of those games in those series, we need to do a Locked On Astros group meetup, because that would be really cool to be there with Locked On Astros fans and paying tribute to former heroes of ours.
And I just want to go ahead and say ahead of time, Brett, thank you for next week. You're going to go solo just so, because me and my wife, I keep on trying to say fiance, but my wife, we're going on our honeymoon to New York. So we're going to go see the
New
Big
York.
Apple. Yeah,
nice.
So we're going to go to Statue of Liberty, and we're going to go see a couple of things. We may even take a tour of Yankee Stadium, but I don't know if we're going to get time to take a tour of Yankee Stadium.
If you do, you have to wear an Astros jersey. It's going to be, that's the safest time of the year to wear an Astros jersey at Yankee Stadium is when there's no Yankee. Well, there will be Yankees workers there. You'll probably get jeered a little bit, but if you can wear,
it's more the subway.
Well, actually, you know what? Well, true. Oh yeah. Dude, be careful on the subway. You're either going to encounter Jimmy Fallon dressed as a bum or a real bum. So be careful out there. But I've never been, dude. My Mama Wheelhouse is from Buffalo, New York. So she's from that area. But dude, good luck up there. I hope the weather's good for y'all, and take pictures. Give us some Astros, like sport an Astros hat with the Statue of Liberty in the back. Do something fun for us, man. Represent.
All right, guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead, subscribe to us, make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to us, go ahead and make us your first listen, and we will see you tomorrow. And Brett, what do we always say?
Go Stros.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow, guys.
The Big Apple. You got to tour Yankee Stadium, man. Bucket list.
We're going to try to.